AI can be used to leverage your employer brand in a real strategic way to better serve candidates, not try and sell them and increase the volume of applicants. Those days are gone now. We're trying to position the reality of your organization because that's going to help us from an engagement rate perspective and get the percentage of valued applicants to go in the right direction. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so we want to introduce this model as a lens for you to look through. Um, it's not a checklist per se. It's some key principles to remember. We want to be concise. LLMs, ChatGPT will not serve up your content as the answer if it drones on like War and Peace. You need to have a real concise way of answering the question clearly. It needs to be coherent, so it needs to be a joined up narrative that makes sense. And then we look at the credibility, so reinforced externally, as in if it's found in many trusted places, then that's a real trust indicator and signal to LLMs that it'll reward you with serving up your content over competitors. So AI isn't exactly inventing new rules, it's enforcing existing ones at scale. And then if we look at this in terms of what an ecosystem looks like, you'll recognize all of these different destinations and domains. What we might start to do now is think a little bit differently in terms of how we use them and how they are joined up to best serve you. And if your careers site is the nucleus in the middle, all of these satellite opportunities of content that you can control or heavily influence or make sure that there's consistency across all of these things. Glassdoor is, an underutilized opportunity to really see what people are complaining about. Now, if you make videos around what people are complaining about, so you can own the narrative, but lean into perhaps here's a reason why somebody who is after hierarchy and structure may not thrive in our organization. And then that's validated by employee stories that say, you need to be independent. You need to be able to be comfortable in the gray. If you get stress and anxiety by not having a clear independent plan all of the time, this might not be the place for you. But if you are comfortable with that, you get to make your own decisions. It's okay to make mistakes. We're an innovation culture that moves fast and breaks things. These are the types of things that you might talk about on your career site or the places to control the narrative where there might be some negativity in some places or some confusion or some aspects where it's unclear what the employee experience is like, but also really lean into pre-handling objectives, giving a really balanced view of the employee experience, but at the same time, increasing engagement on your career site and qualifying candidates that really are applying for a role, not despite what you've said, but because of it, because maybe that's the type of environment that they're looking for. All right, lots to think about there. There's a lot of strategy and mindset to consider here, but there is a huge opportunity to leapfrog competitors and use the strategy that certainly in the playbook that we're offering at the end, it is a gold mine of resource. From a strategic perspective, I see huge opportunities to make your employer brand work really hard. And then what Jim's going to give you is the technical elements to optimize and harness this and make it a real competitive advantage from a technical perspective as well.